I don't really, I don't really mind. I don't really mind.
Oh, a very interesting one.
So, she earns more than me.
Let's say this is Renee's topic. Yeah, you take the lead.
She earns more than me. How do people feel about that? You know, let's imagine you're in a relationship, and we'll go for heterosexual relationship, just to clarify for any of our listeners, since that's our main experience. You're in a relationship with a female, and she discloses that she earns more than you, or she earns more than you. How do you feel about that?
I'll let Shake go first. He's itching to talk.
I have to get my money up. That's how I feel about it. No. Listen, honestly, yeah. Honestly, if that was the case, yeah, I feel like that would motivate me, yeah, or inspire me to actually try and get more money. Now, listen, I don't feel like it's a problem if she earns more money than me. I don't feel like it's a problem. But my ego, my pride, and this is me speaking honestly, will not allow me to, allow that to happen. But at the same time, I don't see it as a problem. I don't see that as a problem. I feel like that relationship can still work. I feel like, yeah, it'll make sense. But I just feel like I want to, well, being from a background and where I've been up and seeing relationships around me, more time I see the man doing more in the house in terms of finances. And now obviously we're living in a generation now where women are earning more and they're even earning, equal or even more than the male. So it's a new thing. And I feel like it's also a new thing to me coming from a kind of traditional background when the man is normally the provider. So I feel like in the back of my mind, I still have that in my mind where like, okay, I still want to be the guy that provides. Like I still want to provide for my family. Ideally, I don't want to even have my wife spend a penny. Probably if my wife was even still earning more money than me, I'll still cover all the bills because I feel like that's just a thing to do. Like that's just a part of the man's role in a relationship for me to be a provider. And yeah, being a provider as well doesn't only, it's not limited to just finances as well, which a lot of people think about as actually not just only that. But it is a factor at the same time. So hence why I said, I have to get my money up. I have to get my money up. But it's not a problem. It's fine. Yeah?
I think for me, just to kind of sum up my point of view is, I think it's acceptable, but
There you go.
Hey!
Rumble in the jungle, mate.
Where you rumble?
I think, it's totally acceptable. I think it's not a situation to be comfortable about. And I'll be open to say that in my relationship, for most of my relationship, my partner has been earning more than me. Obviously, like when you're trying to build something with longevity, we understand, there's obviously, you have to be patient and certain things take time to kind of become bigger. But on the second foot, I would definitely say that you cannot be comfortable as a man. I definitely wouldn't be. Kind of like Shagan said, I think it kind of coincides with what he's saying. Is acceptable, but I don't think it's healthy for a man to be comfortable, and not because of like, insecurity or not so, but it's just inside of us where it's just in our DNA.
I think so. I honestly think so.
And in a good way. I'm not talking about like the jealousy, the spiteful way, but in a good way to take care of our woman, And Jacob said it's not just financially, but that's one of the main ways. That's why, like, in our culture, when you want to take the mick out of a guy, if you talk about his money, it weighs much heavier than, for example, if you talk about a girl's money. Not to say that, obviously, you know, it doesn't necessarily hold the exact same weight, but it's different. I think everyone could accept that. But I've said my part for now. I hope, you know, yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, listen, I feel like this whole like idea of the man being a provider, like I don't even feel like it's only just even limited to human beings. Like if you go into the animal kingdom as well, you see that is primarily the males that go out hunting. They go out hunting, they bring the food back, or they kill the animal, and the other animals come and eat.
Apart from the
Say
Lion,
that again?
apart from in the Lion Kingdom.
Say that again? You say apart from in the Lion Kingdom?
Yeah, apart from.
In the Lion Kingdom, it happens. It happens, even though the females still go hunting as well. But you'll see a male lion will go kill the antelope, bring it back, or let the others eat after he's eaten first, though. But yeah, lions, barn lions, lions are not good animals. But yeah, I feel like it's just in our DNA. It's in our DNA.
I got a question for you. If the role of the woman is provider, the role of the man is provider, what do you see in terms of the financial responsibilities on a female in a relationship? What are her responsibilities? Like how do you envision that work?
To be honest, I can't really speak. Like I can only speak for what I'll do in my relationship. Every relationship is different, and everyone's financial, finances are different as well. So I don't know. I can't say that this person or this family should do this. Like for me personally, I feel like we are still gonna split stuff. But ideally, I want to be at a stage where I can provide for my family, my wife and my kids. I want them to have to, they'll still work, still get their money, whatever, even if you're earning more than me, do whatever. But I still want to be in a position where I can provide, because that's kind of how I've been brought up, and that's what I've seen around me. Like I've kind of seen the guy or the man always being, like I said, the provider. So I still want to kind of provide for my family. But again, I can't speak on how they should balance their finances, or who should do what, who should pay for electricity, who should pay for gas. Do that within your own family. But for me personally, yeah, we'll split stuff. There'll be different things. There'll be things where I'll say, yeah, my wife, you you pay for that, and I don't know. When I get to that stage, innit, I'll be able to
give a better
answer the question. Yeah.
You people you're paying all the bills.
I want I want my family to live comfy.
Ladies, are you people hearing that?
You know what I'm saying? I'm a catch, man. I'm a catch.
He's a catch.
I'm a catch.
You want to pay all your bills. That's what we want.
The bills. Birkin bag, everything.
Birkin bag. Can you imagine? Now we hear this.
You might attract the wrong ones as well with that.
That's the thing. Okay, from my perspective. Okay. I think it very much depends on context, because of the ramifications of having a higher salary if you are a female, right? In that, if it's like not by a substantial amount that I'm earning more than you as a guy, I don't think it's that deep at all. It might have like hurt his ego a little bit, like if I'm earning say 10k more a year, but I don't think it's that deep. I think it gets a bit sticky where you're if there's a wide gap between how much you're earning, right? So say one person is on like 5 figures and the other person is on 6, right? Because your lifestyles may actually be radically different, and your may also be radically different, and your attitude towards money might actually be different. So it's not necessarily the actual like earning more, but more so the stipulations that come as a result of having earned more money, as well as how you got your money, right? So if you are a self-made person, or like you may have come from a background where you weren't like the richest and suddenly come into riches, versus somebody who has always been rich, you'll have a radically different outlook on finances. And then the ramifications of that, if you get with somebody that is, opposite to you in that respect. So in the scenario of like, if you're a girl that's always been like wealthy, for example, come from a wealthy family and you're earning high figures, and then you get into a relationship with a guy that may not necessarily be earning as much as you, there's ramifications because the lifestyle that you're used to is different. So yeah, and I think it's always context dependent on like who feels comfortable doing what. I
think
I think from a female's perspective or from a woman's perspective,
that's what I wanted to ask.
I feel like there's layers to it, right? It's nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually nice being taken care of here and there, but sometimes it can be a little bit toxic. In that, and it's great because often the guys that see themselves as providers, it means you don't really have to pay for dates. But as an individual, like removing gender from it, I'm always conscious of the fact that you don't really, if you want to be with someone for the long term, you have to be conscious of the way that they're spending money and the way that they engage with money and stuff like that. And I don't want to be in a relationship where it's like, oh, okay, either of us are earning more money, but we don't have any financial literacy. And we're just kind of like, it's kind of a thing where he'll be out here spending money on me, but he's burning a hole in his pocket. Like, it's not smart. Like, the way that he's providing isn't smart, and it's more to front. And I've been in situations where a guy will try and impress you or try and show that he's on, like he's a provider and stuff like that. But to me, the fact that I know you're burning a hole in your pocket, like you're actually burning a hole in your pocket. Your pocket is on fire. But you're out here, do you know what I mean? And I don't know, for me personally, I'm not that, obviously I like nice things and I like gifts and stuff like that, but I'm not the kind of girl that will put my partner under this kind of, because I think there are people out there who subscribe to these kind of roles, but they put each other under such pressure that it's like, there's no give. And I think it's also the fact that, like, when we look at things like the gender pay gap and stuff like that, it's empowering for women when they can say, oh, I earn money, or I have like 5 figures or 6 figures and I'm an independent woman, blah, blah, blah. Because that's been used as a means to like domesticate women. Because it's like a lot of guys will say, oh, I'm a provider, which means that you need to be in the kitchen and you need to be a domestic goddess. And at least for me, I don't care how much more you're earning, more than me or less than me. If you can't cook and clean and you're a guy, I don't care. There's no money that you can pay for. You can pay all my bills.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of some of my thoughts.
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I go?
Go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say, I think, Renee, correct me if I'm wrong, but for most women, if they are in a circumstance where they are earning more than their partner at a certain period of time and it's substantial, I think for women, obviously in a relationship and also like speaking to other people and seeing different experiences, I see and believe that, of course, it's not really a favorable situation because you want to pull your partner up at the same time, and in everything you want to be on the same level. But I think the main important thing is that man, again, going back to what I said before about not being necessarily completely comfortable with that, not like chasing a fairy tale dream, or as in that show we watched, the SoundCloud rapper.
You from Insecure.
I still need to watch that thing.
Yeah. But a man that is, he's doing something. He's doing something.
What is it that he's doing?
No, he's doing something, as in like he's investing in himself. He's investing in the future. I mean, there are so many examples of relationships. I don't want to get like cheesy and that stuff, but there's so many examples, and not Hollywood examples, but genuine examples of relationships where, the guy probably didn't have much means financially, and not even just relationship of boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe even a mother and a son. Probably the guy, I don't know, mid-20s, early 20s, whatever. But because he was going out there to do something, to build something, and because assuming that their partner is a good one and wants the best for them, is supporting them, and can see that it's going somewhere, eventually it does kind of take off at the same time. That's why, going back to the point of like not being comfortable, I think the worst kind of scenario is, and not just maybe just financially, but in other areas too, is your partner can do better, but they're just being there. I think
like
sorry?
Like Lawrence.
If you want to say that, yeah.
No more references to things that I don't know about, man.
You need to go and watch it. That's why. Anyway,
in the real world that we live in, just kind of like the title of the podcast itself, it's unscripted, so you can't necessarily, not everything is necessarily going to pan out exactly, as you want. There could be bumps in the road, etc., but I guess it's about not settling for that, at least on the man's side.
And it's really difficult, I think, on the part of women to be able to suss out who's who, because it feels like at the moment, like if we look at the stats, for example, women are by far more educated than men on like multiple levels. Women-owned businesses tend to excel really, really well. And women, because we are fed this narrative that we need to mature faster and get our stuff together faster, often, and the fact that, our whole life often revolves around like, how can we, be wives and mothers and stuff like that. A lot of women are coached into being ready-made wives. And then when we get to the point of like, we're looking for a partner, it feels as though we're taking a chance on potential as opposed to a ready-made man. And then to, first of all, like feeling like you're ready-made and then having to, in some ways, wait for a guy to like get together is kind of difficult, because some guys don't get together for a while, aka Lawrence from Insecure.
Lawrence.
And it is difficult. And I think from both my experience, but also the experience of like my friends and stuff, even this whole idea of like potential and provider and stuff, I think it's not just women that put men under pressure. Men put themselves under pressure, as you said, to be providers and stuff like that. And I think the whole earning more thing, it's a tough one. I get that it's a it's a great motivator, but at the same time, you don't want to start putting context matters, right? It might be that you get into a relationship with someone and they start off like earning lots of money. What happens if you're, you're engaged to somebody and you've been earning more money than them throughout the relationship, and then you get fired? Or, what happens when the roles reverse for a period of time? Does that have an impact on your masculinity? Should that have an impact on your relationship? How are you going to think about, splitting the bills and stuff like that? So I think it's not something we should always like rule out and say like, oh, I don't want to do this, or like blah, 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 because circumstances always change. And we see that in movies where, guys will like go from bum to 100 or vice versa. And it's tough out here in these streets. But yeah, as a girl, I think it's nice. Like, I think it's nice that, there are guys out there that genuinely see themselves as providers and stuff like that. I would genuinely hope, you guys have touched on it already, that, providing is not just financial, but other stuff as well. It would be good to hear what you guys conceptualize that as. Like, what would you as a man want to contribute to that relationship that is valued at more than just financial provision, right? Because I just think that in the world today, because men's worth is so wrapped around how much, and this is funny because it's often actually men's doing because of patriarchy, men's worth is so so wrapped around what they can provide financially that it almost gives like, it doesn't become fun, like there's other things, there's other elements that make a relationship work. And if like, there's just so much more. And ideally, if I was earning X amount, I would ideally like someone in that ballpark figure. But I think for me, it's more about how do you view and how do you see money?
That's true.
are you a good multiplier of money? Because it might be that you're broke right now, but I can see that this is somebody that handles money really well, and for whatever situation you're down right now, but you're somebody that's worth investing in. And do you have a long-term game plan? Because a lot of people will be, salary isn't really a benchmark for me. I'm more interested in like assets and investments and the long-term plan. So, okay, you're earning a high salary, but what's your game plan? Like, what's your ambition? What does that look like?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, there's just a lot more context that we'll probably have to take into account. But for me personally, I wouldn't mind if he's earning less than me, as long as I feel that there's genuine ambition and he's actually trying to become wealthy as opposed to having cash or like having a high salary.
I think you perfectly summed up basically what I was trying to say or said before.
What I want to know is, Renee, would you entertain a bum?
It's enough for me. But first of all, how would you describe a bum?
How do I describe a bum? Actually,
Opposite,
I don't feel like any.
the opposite,
Say that again.
Opposite everything she said.
Why would I do
Yeah,
that?
pretty much opposite. So for me, a bum is someone that, yes, they probably are earning less, and they don't necessarily have a game plan. They're content with where they are at and their finances and all of that kind of stuff, or they just don't really care about the bigger picture. They're okay with how they're doing presently, and they're content pretty much with where they're at.
Oh, that's good for them. I wish them every success in their life, but unfortunately it will not include me.
Wow, nice, handsome guy, the man of your dream, looks exactly how you act.
Your looks are going to fade. So what will I do with you if you're broke at 40? What will we do then? Where will we live?
Renee will provide.
Yeah? What do I look like to you, sugar mommy? In your dreams. Our kids that want to go to college but you have no money to feed them. Lights. I'm telling you, you will fall in love with people, say, oh, it's love. But what is it that you love about them? The lights are not actually on in your house.
Yeah, that's a bit mad still.
I think it's the more contentment with stagnation that's my problem. Because I'm the kind of person, not just in like my finances, but also in my general personal development. Like literally, my whole personal brand is all about personal growth. And to be with someone that's content to be stagnant in the area of finances, not necessarily just to like earn more money, but genuinely, like, I like people that tend to have an entrepreneurial spirit, people that have like, that are highly ambitious. And if finances isn't included in that, well,
Incompatible.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you know what I want to know? I want to get like, I wish I could just do a survey and like get to the bottom of like how couples kind of split the finances involved in a wedding. That's what I want to know. I want to see how that kind of goes.
Give us insights, Mr.
Oh, my guy, you indirected me. Okay.
No, I was even. I just want to know, like in general. I actually want to conduct a survey.
Please, come and tell us, regular folk, us, unbetrothed.
Wow. Yeah. We all regular, man. We all regular, trying to get somewhere.
Here we go. Who do you think you are? Denzel Washington. We are regular, man.
That accent was not it.
Nah, I think the main thing it comes down to is communication, and also being on the same page. Kind of as Renee mentioned, like when you want to make a serious decision, like getting married, having a wedding, or fortunately for me, we were able to like buy an apartment. Those two things are like the main like two footholds to kind of to stand on. And once you get those like core, if I can say, assets together and working from there, then you can kind of like get to the practical stuff. Obviously it's stressful, things happen down the line. You might, find out you need more money for X, Y, Z, but it's because you got that communication and the same level of expectation at the same level. Things kind of work out in the end.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Also, don't you get tired of paying for dates and stuff like that?
Sorry?
I said, don't you get don't guys like being surprised and stuff like that? You know, bought stuff.
You know, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
I think
that, but sometimes I need someone to, you know, look after me, rub my neck a little bit as well. Cause I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like if it's always me, that's it. That's having to, you know, open my pocket. Like, it's a bit. Come on, like, you also are working. You also can bring something as well. You know, it's not always me.
I think it's maturity. You know, if you're in a mature relationship, or as your relationship matures, again, going back to communication and being on the same page, you can see past that stuff. Like, it's not wrong for your woman to pay for the dinner. That's not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, but certain guys feel some type of way about that, though.
That's true. That's true. But then
the optics, because when the waiter comes around or the waitress comes around, and they're like,
if we're talking about a relationship to a man and woman, I think it depends at what stage then. Because I don't know, for me, when I feel
like the stage matters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, obviously, when you're dating, etc., like, it might be kind of, I could say, male dominated. When you're like in a really serious relationship, you're settling down, etc., like, it obviously is still probably something that you should do, but when you don't, if it doesn't happen necessarily that way, it's not really that deep, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree as well. I feel like, yeah, definitely what stage of the relationship you are, I feel like that definitely determines that kind of that whole thing. But like, even the thinking,
Shags, are you gonna be paying all the way through situationships?
Never. It can never be me. You see me, yeah. I play games. I love to play games. Like, if I'm going on a date as well, it's not just ever just one thing. It's always like, it's a day.
On the topic of dates, yeah, some of you guys are mad bookie because you'll be out here saying, "Oh, I'll pay," but you'll be watching to see if the girl pulls out her pretend to pay. No.
You have to.
You think you don't know?
Yeah, so you can see what
now I don't even bring out my wallet because you man are just nah.
Yeah, no, I watched that. I just want to see like what kind of woman is this. It gives me an insight it gives me an insight. For me personally, for me, yeah, if you don't like touch your clutch bag, and, you know, even just play with a couple of the cards there, then I know what kind of woman you are. I know.
I don't agree with that at all.
You're looking for a good time. You're looking for a good time.
Will I be pulling out my wallet for you? That's asked me on the day.
No, listen. No. I'm not saying that you should pay. I just want to see you even play with the cards, so I know that.
You are despicable, honestly. Despicable.
I can kind of.
You can what?
Hold on. I'm not agreeing with what he's saying, but I can see why some might be, you know, have that kind of perspective. Because there are females that are there for a good ride. I'm not saying...
Yeah, that's true.
I still think that it should be the guy to be pulling out, you know, the wanga. But you have to understand, because there are different people. We live in a world where there's funny different types of people.
For me, I'm not even saying that that's actually, no, it is the be-all and end-all. Listen, you see...
I mean, is it safe to say we can...
It can't be the be-all.
My date, yeah, it's never just like one activity. So it's probably, okay, a meal and some other kind of activity, whether it's bowling or mini golf or something like that. Yeah, I love interaction and getting that opportunity to conversate. Me, I like to just eat my food, you know, eat my food in peace. I don't be talking too much. You know, I'm not trying to see teeth.
Ladies, are you listening? Shags. You know, bowling. He loves the activity dates.
That's why I'm actually so good at bowling.
You know
I've got a bowling alley.
Ellie, look at your mate. Do you know what he does? Yeah, you know when you try and build up that competitive chemistry. We see you and your tactics, man. We see you. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, what am I saying? Like with me, I use dates, especially like first dates. So kind of, it gives me like a gauge, yeah, like I'm saying, of the person. So if now, yeah, I pulled out £50, yeah, to pay for the meal, yeah, and now we're going bowling or something like that, and you know, you want to get a drink or something like that, I want to get a drink, and you don't even offer at least to say, oh, let me get this one now, yeah, let me get this one for you. I'm looking at you like, whoa, okay, so you feel like I'm the meal ticket, like you're just gonna work me?
Chinese,
Yeah, all of those people are not around no more, man. They're not around no more. Me, I need to see you at least, like I said, at least play with some things in your purse, at least. At least.
Okay.
At least.
Let's try and flip the tables, yeah. Renee, first of all, are you okay if the guy, first couple of days, first day, whatever, doesn't pay? Are you okay with paying?
I'm okay with paying, but from that point forward, we're good friends.
Woo!
Woo!
Guys, are you listening?
Chivalry is a lost art. You heard that, guys? It's a lost art.
There's no, actually, we're friends. That's nice.
Wow.
Maybe I'm picking and choosing. Do you know what? Yeah, I was out with a guy friend of mine, and like it was actually completely platonic. But I have a lot of like guy friends where they're providing stretches into even like sometimes they'll pay if they go for a meal with a female friend because that's just who they are. And I was insistent, like I was like to him, no, it's cool, like we can split, it's not that deep. And he said to me, considering the gender pay gap, the current state of like affairs, don't you think that this is basically reparations? And I was just like, do you know what?
You're right.
Because I used to feel, even on a date, I used to be, listen, I was that girl, I was shuffling for my card to bring it out just to, what do you call it, demonstrate, pick me, don't worry, I'm not one of those girls who are looking for you for your money. I'll even I'll split the bill. I even sometimes felt uncomfortable when I went on a couple of dates and the guy would pay. Now, ain't none of that. In fact, let me even tell you a story, yeah? There was this one, oh my goodness gracious, one of the worst dates ever. He was like, oh, I'll meet you at the cinema. And he said, pick the cinema. And I said, obviously, I'm going to pick one in North London because it's close to me. And I was like, oh, where are you based? We can choose one that's closer if that's easier, like to you. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. You pick it. Got to the cinema. This guy was so late. Like the film had started.
Yeesh.
5 minutes in. So I bought my ticket because it was a film I actually wanted to see. And I was going to see it whether he showed up or not.
Yeah.
So I got my ticket and he shows up and is like, okay, cool, let's go buy the tickets. And I said, I've got my ticket. You need to sort yourself out. And he was like, oh, you didn't get one for me? And I said, no.
Hey!
That's out, yeah.
Mind you, this is a first date.
Hey!
Even shaking.
Hey!
Shaking like the you didn't get for me. And I just looked at him. I said, this is clearly not a serious man.
You're upside down.
Wait. Why am I upside?
Shagan was so confused. He didn't speak that language.
Oh my days. Yeah.
Y'all, let me finish. Let me land. So yeah, we're now in the cinema. He's bought his own ticket now. And it looked even worse on me because I had also bought snacks because I was hungry at the time. I didn't offer him any because I just think the goal of you to come 45 minutes late after the film. This is 45 minutes into the actual film. So do you know how there's like credits and stuff before the film? I'm just sat there watching couples go by and inside waiting for this man. And the first thing you say is, oh, you didn't get me a ticket. What do I look like to you? So he went in and he was doing the whole classic, you know how guys will reach over their hand to put it over on yours and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, my bro, I'm going to need you to... I'm gonna need you to stop. So ended the film and he was like, do you want to go out to eat? And I was kind of like, no, because it's actually quite late. And okay, I'll walk you home. And I was just like, that's okay, like that's cool, you don't need to do that. And then man really tried to, sneak in a fast, cheeky kiss, and I was just like, that's not gonna happen either.
Yeah.
Smart woman there. Smart woman. Yeah.
I hope you know what, the film was good. I hope you have a good time and stay blessed when you go home. So I went to my home.
Stay blessed?
Yeah, no, I literally said stay blessed. Because fam, when he reached in, them ones where someone reaches in to kiss you, but then you maneuver and hug.
Tell him, have a good life.
Had to do that, which was great. So that happened. And he, like, we texted afterwards, and I was just like, this is not that, it just wouldn't work to me because the cheek. So I'm sorry, for me, it's not even a question. The fact that I even have male friends, like even my brother and stuff like that will pay for me. Yeah. And not to say that this is a power move or anything, but just that they're considerate enough to like do that. You that's trying to woo me as your potential partner, my friend, pick up the bill. Pick it up.
It's true. It's true.
So in the context of like Shagan said, let's say if it's a series of activities and the whole day expenses get into like, let's say $1 bill. At some point, do you touch the cards?
You have to play with the cards a little bit.
It's killing me. Okay, do you know what? If it's one activity, if it's like dinner, I get it. That's cool. But my hand is not touching my purse at all. It's you that's paying. If it's multiple activities, I've been there as well, where we went for like dinner. Then he was like, let's go bowling. And I was like, do you know what? Actually, because I actually ran up the bill at dinner. I'll cover like drink, like I'll cover something. And he was like, no, don't worry, I got this. And I was like, that's cool. So I hear you on that. If we're doing multiple things, at least cover. But if it's multiple things, if it's one thing, my purse is staying inside.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But if it's multiple things, at least, say it's at least like,
even small, like, let me get the drinks or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if it's one thing, no. Also, if it's one thing and you ask me out, don't even look at me to bring out my card.
Yeah. For me, I can't. Sometimes I play games with it, man. I'll just be like, if I hit this next track, if I hit this track, I want a drink. Or I want something.
If I ask you out though, then I will definitely offer to pay.
Have you ever asked anybody out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He still paid though.
Hey, Igbo women, be careful. Anyway,
but that's just men. Men are like, a lot of guys are just so like,
men are idiots.
Like when I say insistent on paying, insistent.
Yeah.
I don't have no problems because free dinner, nice guy. Why not? But
hey.
The thing I don't like, this is getting so like off topic and tangential though. The thing I don't like is when guys think that they're entitled to anything just because they paid.
Yeah. That's definitely a conversation to be had, to be honest. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Even
100%.
Even going into like, even on the topic of like, let's say if flip the table, the man earns more than the woman. There are a lot of relationships where the man, because he thinks he earns more than the woman, he thinks he can just dominate her in whatever way that he pleases, verbally, emotionally, and other ways as well.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of marriages in the past have suffered from that as well. Like, I feel that's a form of abuse that, again, I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. But I feel like a lot of marriages have suffered from that as well. But yeah, don't want to get too deep.
Absolutely dusty. Like, even just in terms of like the date scenario, you'll go out with a man and all of a sudden he expects something from you just because he bought you calamari.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that look like to you? Like, everything okay at home? Like, No, it's Ellie. You're laughing. It's serious. You will buy
It's true.
3-course because of common 3-course meal. Yeah, I'm supposed to. Even Pierce, you're not entitled to that. It's like.
But it's our culture, you know. It plays the things that people listen to and watch. It plays a big part of expectations that people have that are not unrealistic or healthy. It's just
yeah, definitely. In a sense as well, I feel like going even into like the whole culture thing. I feel for some people, I feel like it's just what they know. Like they haven't known any better. They've received reward or whatever form that reward may be as a result of them, you know, paying for dates or treating a girl. And they've carried that along, or that's what they've seen. That's what they've seen in films. That's what they've seen in the ends. That's what they've grown up seeing as well. So some people, I feel like they haven't been educated to understand that you're not entitled to anything. That's not concerning you. If it's concerning somebody else, you're not entitled to anything. You are entitled to your own self. You can do whatever you want to yourself, but you relax when it comes to somebody else.
Is everybody listening to? Wow, I feel like this entire podcast is just an advertisement for Shegs.
Listen, listen, I'm not trying to blow my old trumpet or anything like that. I'm a catch. I'm a cool guy, down to earth guy. So, ladies, shoot your shot.
This guy, speed dating, mate. You're doing speed dating for yourself.
Yeah, that's my take me out pitch. What's it?
Pitch.
My name is Shagan. I'm from London.
What's your preference?
Listen, my preference is nothing to do with color, nothing to do with race. My preference is to do with
politically correct.
I was about to say, Ellie.
Wait, what? What did you say? Say that again.
The politically correct answer.
No, it's not. It's not. This is the truth. You actually just need to be a cool person. That's actually it. And cool is what I consider cool. So if you're into the same kind of music I am, if you're into like fashion and looking good and stuff like that, if you are cool, if you are also intelligent and you like to know and find out about new things, then that's what I like. If you like what I like,
Don't forget the fruits.
And you can get information by just sending a text message to +4475 719 So if you could just
link in the description to his profile.
Yeah.
I'm screaming. Okay, guys, off-topic question. What is the worst date you've ever had?
Woo. Do you know, what is the worst day I've ever had? I haven't had really. I don't think I've had like bad experiences on dates. It's just funny series of events have happened. Like there was one date. This is not even really a date. Like this was someone that I was actually seeing at the time as well. But the whole day was just very funny. Anyway, we were meant to go cinema or anything, and I don't know, for some reason I was just mad late. Like it was just a very bummy day. Like it was raining, it was grey. It was like one of these days in like November or something like that. You know, the bummy month there. But yeah, and I got there very late. I remember it was a film that I wanted to watch, and anyway, she was waiting, and I remember I went to go and buy the tickets and everything. I went to go and buy the food. I told her to sit down because she's already been waiting for a long time. So I said I'm gonna bring everything in. So now I'm carrying hot dogs. I'm carrying nachos. I'm carrying popcorn because I wanted to probably like treat her because anyway, I was seeing the person at the time. But anyway, I was carrying the drinks, everything. So I'm one of these guys. I'm moving like this. I'm carrying. Oh my god.
Macho man.
So I'm texting. The film is just about starting now. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, cool. So I'm walking up to the seat. I'm messaging like, what's the seat number? Cool. That's happening. I'm getting to the seat now. Yeah. And I remember all my days. Yeah. I was wearing. This was like the first time I wore these pair of shoes as well. This was like the first time. I remember the shoes. They were a pair of one of Yeezy, but anyway, but they were light. very light. They were basically like beige, kind of off-white color. And cool. So I get to the seat, yeah, after squeezing through all the people, yeah, like this. It was packed out. It was a busy day. And I'm about to sit down now, and boom, everything drops.
No!
Everywhere. It's a mess. Oh my days.
No.
Yeah, it was, yeah. It wasn't the one. It wasn't the one. But it was funny because she didn't actually like the shoes as well. So she was actually laughing, but it was very comical, it was very funny. She was like, haha, that's what you get for wearing that. Because I purposely wore it because she said that she didn't like that shoe.
That's so you.
Yeah,
It was very funny.
So
Yeah, that's just, yeah, I don't think I've had like a bad date, but just funny things have happened, weird things have happened.
was that during the film or before it started?
The film has now started now. The film has now started. So now I'm just sitting there with the mess. I couldn't even watch the film because I'm just like, look at this mess. I'm sitting like this. My feet are like that because I can't be standing on top of ketchup and hot dog on the floor. Anyway, I had a little bit of popcorn to salvage, but there was no drink, so my throat was very dry. Yeah, it was the worst one, man. It was the worst.
I don't think I've been in any bad days, but there was one where it was just awkward. It's quite, just awkward, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've been on awkward dates.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, those are probably bad dates. Like I remember there was one particular female, and I don't know whether we're meant to not talk or I don't know. I was just so confused. So I'm leading with the conversation, and I'm all right to lead the conversation because I like to cook. And I'm speaking, and I'm just getting very abrupt answers as if like we're texting on the phone. Like I'm just like, hello, are you trying to be here and everything? Like it was just very, I don't know, man. But anyway, she's not around no more.
And who do you think that's because of?
You think we're just like next?
The one I already talked about was a bad date. I've mostly been on like pretty good dates, nice ones. There was this one guy. This guy was so awkward. Like when I say he had absolutely zero banter, extremely serious.
I feel like every man should have some level of banter. I'm sorry.
100%. You have to.
I had zero banter. As in, listen, I have similar experience to Shagan where this man would just stare and I'm just like, so is this a silent disco type date or are we gonna be talking back and forth or you gonna look at me and I'm going to look at you just like this? And we clashed because he must have said something about the like roles of men and women in like relationships and stuff. And he was just like, he's a believer in like traditional roles and like obviously like the woman will be in the like the domesticated one in the kitchen and stuff. And obviously you guys know me, that's already strike like 5. So that we're not, do you know what I mean? We're not doing that. And he was also a little bit creepy. He was trying to like buy me lots of like alcoholic drinks, and I was just like, this is getting weird. So I was just politely said, this is not gonna work out.
Short story.
A story in 2 words. You're weird, and this ain't going to happen. That's even another thing. I feel like sometimes for girls, it's actually quite, I don't know how we even ended up right here, unscripted, right? But for girls, it's actually dangerous sometimes to go out with guys insofar as like, you might have to tell your girl that you're going out. I remember when I was dating a lot more last year, every time I went on a date, I would tell like my friend, oh, this is his car registration plate. This is the guy. This is what I'm going to, just to be careful because there really are some guys out there that are a bit shady.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna tell my female friends to look out for that as well because I've actually never thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very mad.
Yeah. Especially when they're not like from like, I don't know if this guy, you know, was a mutual friend, or I assume he wasn't. Yeah.
No, not a mutual friend. Especially when it's not a mutual friend, you must say, I'm gonna be here at this time. If you don't hear from me from X, call the police. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, these streets ain't safe. You can never
The guys that, listen, you have to write off the guys that will be the ones that are forcing down the alcoholic drinks. Because me, I love myself. I love me a good cocktail. I'm a margarita babe, a Long Island babe. Just nice. But if you're out here trying to buy me like 7 in a row, I know something is wrong.
7 in a row.
Something is wrong. Like, especially if it's like a first date or something, and I'm just getting to know you, and you're just like, oh, let's drink. It's just like,
yeah. So let's relax.
Creepy.
Wow. Boy. Yeah.
So was he like, how did you kind of evade it?
The drinks or the conversation?
The drinks.
Oh, the drinks. I just said I've had enough. Stop buying them. Like, listen,
That's so funny.
I'm a personal, sociable type of girl. You know, I like talking to people and stuff like that, but I can also make things very awkward really quickly. And no, when it comes to like drinks, particularly alcohol and stuff like that, if you're out here trying to ply me with alcohol, I'll tell you, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable with this. So can you?
Yeah.
I ain't stutter.
You gotta put your foot down, like, because unfortunately, a lot of females aren't necessarily that strong-minded or firm.
Yeah.
And it's really a form of coercion. Like, there's a reason why you're trying to get a girl in that particular state. And I just think it's the most sourceless thing, right? Like, if you believed in your source, would you need to be buying somebody this many drinks or whatnot?
Yes, your source will be making them already.
Yeah, some people don't have source. That's the thing, though. Some people don't have source.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Anyway, if you're looking for source,
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you.
You got my business card? Give me a call. You know.
He's just looking for cool people, guys. Cool people.
But under the title called there are requirements.
Yeah, there's requirements. What I deem as cool. Yeah, because cool for me is different from Renee cool.
Oh, it must be. It's probably
Renee probably thinks that she's cool, but to me, she's not. I'm joking. It is cool, man.
Did you get that recording? He called me cool, Ellie.
Hey, I lied. I'm lying.
You know, like when someone's tipsy and they're revealing the truth. You know, you keep revealing.
Hey, I'm lying.
Okay, no, it's the feeling is mutual. I think you're cool too. I think you're cool, but scratch that off the recording too.
I know I'm cool.
Scratch it off. I never said that. Stubborn to the end. Scratch it off.
Yeah.
But wait, another thing, going. I just remembered that whole awkward date. Listen, aside from the fact that she wasn't talking, she kept on giving me like serious eye contact. Like, eye contact is good, and eye contact is perfect. Yeah, I can't have you like just looking at it. Like, have confidence in yourself. But when you're just staring, you can't be taking a bite of your food and staring at the person still. That's weird, man. But anyway, that was a short story as well.
Weird in this life, innit?
Some people are weird, but yeah.
Wow.
We move.
Interesting.
Must be looking at you anyhow. God.
Very scary.
But on the topic of like Renee mentioned in terms of not today, but the view of like a man and a woman's role and linked to like the topic itself. Yeah, I think I've said enough. Jacob, you can finish.
No, you answer your own question. Answer your
I'm
own
listening.
question. Answer your own question.
No. I didn't even answer my question. I'm the one asking the question. You have to answer first.
Yeah, I missed the question though, so you're gonna have to eliminate for me.
In relation to like the roles of a man and a woman, and kind of linked to the topic of if she earns more than me, what do you guys think of today's, view in our culture of how it looks like? What do you think? Is it miscued, etc., etc.?
For me, I feel like this is a very easy question. I mean, I disagree with the traditional gender roles in the sense that, okay, women do not belong in the kitchen. Yeah, everyone that thinks women belong in the kitchen, or should be washing, or should be cleaning, that is crap. That's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. Men as well. Men don't belong fixing light bulbs and building cupboards and building and bricklaying and doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I think
anyone can do it. Say that again.
I think they do.
Do you say you think they do?
Well,
I don't. No. Let me tell you. Wait. I don't feel like is any role anybody should have to do it. No one should be forced to do that.
I'm looking for my babes to build my house. What are you talking about?
No. Wait.
Yeah, biologically built.
Wait. No.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Men are biologically built to do some things. Yes. Yeah.
Build my house.
Same way that women are biologically built to be more, maternal, more loving, more caring. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not the be all and end all. That doesn't now mean that if I'm now fixing the light, you now can't come and hold the ladder for me.
I'm screaming.
That doesn't now mean that if there's 10 plates in the sink, I now can't come and wash the plates.
I'm scared. Ellie, I hate you.
Let's relax. Now, for me personally, I feel like there are still roles that both the male and the female need to play in the family. These are the roles that I believe that they should play is a man, yeah, should be the sense of strength in the family, because we are biologically built as the stronger gender, yeah. So in terms of defending, in terms of protecting the family, I feel like a man should do that, yeah. Same way I feel like for a woman, I feel like, yes, you've been built and you are more loving, you are more caring, and I feel like that should also be passed on. Hence why when you see relationships or families where one of the parties are not around, whether it's the father or the mother, you can see that kind of does have a toll on how the kids are. Again, not all relationships all work like that, and different relationships, there's different factors that affect different families and stuff like that. But you can see signs of when there's an absent parent or there's an absence of whichever gender the parent was. You can see when there's an absence of that gender in the family, in how the kid kind of turns out and how the kids kind of think, or even the roles that are now taken on by the other parent. If you guys get what I'm saying.
I got a couple points I want to touch on real quick. Again, I think it always depends on the context of the relationship, yeah? I think there is biological basis to assume that, men v women in terms of like muscle mass and relative strength. But I will use myself as an example. I lift weights in the gym. So my preference is also somebody like, I would ideally like somebody that goes to the gym / is strong. But relative to me, the average guy is probably not as strong. And that's not to say that's not to big myself up or anything, but genuinely that's actually what I do.
What's your personal best?
Is it that I now can't go out with anybody that can't be doing, bench press and squat and deadlift? For me, so like for example, one of my PBs for deadlift was like 140 kg.
Jeez.
I was about
So,
your personal best.
that I would say that my personal best was 140.
Jeez.
Okay.
Oh, hey, everyone.
So if you man and you like to go to the gym, you know, my preference.
So if the brother cannot lift more than 140 kg, bro, keep it moving.
No, but you see, relative strength, right? Because like girls tend to, women tend to have less muscle mass in their upper body than their lower body. So I'm sure there's a lot of brothers out there that can outbench me. My bench is trash, so it's all good. But yeah, I think I definitely won't lie. There's definitely an element of like, my preference is I would like somebody that is like bigger than me or like stronger than me in some sense. Like that's not my be all and end all, but ideally somebody that is like larger. I guess it comes from that innate, you know, protective whatnot and all of that good stuff. So yeah, there's definitely still some remnants of that. In terms of like today's society, I think on social media we see extremes of that, like extremes of like pushing away of like traditional gender roles, and obviously like, you know, we've been embracing different gender roles as well as like non-binary models and stuff like that as well. So it's just a time of like new things coming into play. For me personally, I think I agree with Shegs a little bit in that I don't. Hey, chill. Let me explain. Where I don't subscribe to like traditional roles in the sense of like it's exclusively women that will be in the kitchen and domesticated. Personally, I wouldn't want to be with a partner that can neither cook nor clean. I think that you're useless if you can't do these basic, you know, basic activities, right? And often when I say, oh, I want a bricklayer to be my babes, it's just in response to when guys are like, oh, I want a babes that can cook. It's like, okay, well, me, I want a Bob Builder type guy. So yeah, that's just me. Like I can banter about it, but ideally I just want somebody that is, before I look at their role insofar as like gender, I look at them as a human being and if their values align with mine as opposed to what they can like provide and stuff. Because I feel like naturally each partnership will be defined by the individual you're with anyways, and whether it subscribes closely to traditional gender roles or not is always like context dependent. But yeah, I just want I want a cool guy who's ideally
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh hell no. Much for me.
Morris Chestnut.
Oh, muy bien. That's a bit of me. That's a bit of me. I ain't gonna lie.
Morris Chestnut. I said.
He's a bit of me. And young Denzel Washington.
Young, co-side.
He's a bit of me. He's a bit of me.
I think for me, not answer my own question, but kind of for me, my perspective, I'll probably use life experience. So for those who don't know, I was born in the Congo. I came here when I was a 1-year-old young boy. No, I didn't come on a boat. For those
he swam.
Yeah.
He swam. Yeah.
Try and make that joke.
Did you see what Akon said about Congolese people?
Sorry?
Did you see what Akon said about Congolese people?
I did. I was taken back.
What a youth man that one is, but do carry on.
Wait, what did he say?
Apparently we can tear lions and bears and stuff.
Oh, the thing with Mike Tyson.
You heard?
Oh yeah. What, Ellie, can you be up a bear or something?
Shag, just shut up.
But yeah, I was gonna say from life experience, in terms of looking at my parents, my dad, he got like his degree, his mechanics degree, etc., in Congo. But when he came here first, and then me and my mom came after, I saw growing up, and now I appreciate so much probably the best example that I've seen of sacrificing for your partner, and if I can say even equality, because I remember there was a point where he decided to kind of put his, because unfortunately, like when you come from a certain background, your qualifications don't necessarily match up to what they are, you know, when you come to places like, for example, England. So he kind of sacrificed in terms of putting his ambitions, his career to the side, and worked hard so that my mom could like build up her education, get her degree, a medical degree. And now she's a senior nurse. She has a very good salary and she does earn more than him. And even like on a daily basis, like growing up in the household, I saw him like the conventional, even like African man is not watching TV, doing et cetera, but I saw him, you know, in the kitchen, helping out, et cetera. So I think personally for me, I saw a good example in terms of like the opposite of in culture, the toxic or even probably traditional kind of view of how a relationship between a man and a woman should be. And I think that is pretty, well, at least for me, is pretty inspiring and it kind of shaped me kind of in the way I see things and where I am today.
Mm.
Yeah, we do.
It made sense. So Ellie, do you know how to cook and clean?
The cooking department, listen, obviously, man's in it.
It's okay. He built their apartment, so it's fine.
Okay.
I built it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm out here, you know, schools, you know, wiping the tops, cleaning the dishes and that, and trying to
love domesticated goddess. Come on.
Okay. Nice.
Oh my days.
Jags, do you cook and clean for the benefit of our lovely lady listeners?
Listen, I am probably one of the best chefs that any of you guys know. Anybody that's watching and listening, or even you guys, I am one of the best chefs. I can cook. I cook. I do this. And obviously, I